My neck, my back, my paycheck is whack.
Baristas are the heart and soul of this company, and they deserve better. While baristas are on strike, the baristas have shared that the best way to show our support is not to buy Starbucks in solidarity.
So she's from Seattle, and she's against Starbucks. Well, she's about to get crushed by Big Bean.
My neck, my back, my paycheck is whack.
And I would like to close with a message to Starbucks. This is your hometown and mine.
Our morale is really strong, but, we lost our jobs, so it's actually surprising to see. It's the Seattle laws that really, helped us out.
My neck, my back, my paycheck is whack.
Seattle's making some changes right now, and I urge you to do the right thing.
They say they are angry about 900 workers who were laid off when the coffee chain closed more than 24 stores in Washington state.
Because in Seattle, when workers' rights are under attack, what do? When workers' rights are under attack, what do? When workers' rights are under attack, what do? Because this is your city. Thank you very much.
My neck,
My back, my paycheck is whack.
On top of losing their jobs, the workers say they were not offered transfers to other stores.
My neck, my back, my paycheck is whack. That's a catchy one. Yeah. Almost makes you want to get out there and protest, doesn't it? What about the one, this is how your coffee is made? Like, what? What? You know what the funny thing about this all is you can jack up those minimum wages to whatever. At the end of the day, those can always go to zero. So a bunch of corporate jobs in Seattle may go to zero. Because can you imagine corporate workers for Starbucks wanting to move to Tennessee? I mean, honestly, that is about as diverse a move as possible. You've got conservative Tennessee, taxes, everything. Now they're going to Nashville. All right. Great music scene. It's hilarious. The whole thing is just, it's hilarious because it's like, a couple of months of protesting, and then all of a sudden, well, here's our reaction. Starbucks plans corporate office in Nashville, impacting some Seattle-based supply chain workers. Now, all the news stories, what they're reflecting is, well, Starbucks is just, they're just setting up more corporate in Nashville because, it's Southern-based, and it's just, it's over there, and that's kind of the direction we're moving. And what they're not saying is Starbucks is getting the F out of Seattle, and I can't blame them. When you have the mayor, who is a socialist, a step away from a commie, protesting against one of the biggest employers in the city of Seattle, founded in Seattle, make that make sense. Logically walk me through that. How is that literally not pulling out that revolver and just putting a shell right through your foot? How is that not, you know what I mean? Just, what are we doing? What are we doing? So all the media stories are, well, we're making this other division there. And we're going to offer jobs to our employees in Seattle. Rightio. Like people from Seattle want to live in Nashville. You know what I mean? Yeah, no. Starbucks plans to open a corporate office in Nashville, Tennessee, impacting some Seattle-based jobs related to the coffee giant's North American supply chain operations. They're not coming right out and stating, hey, boys and girls, we're out of here. Because policies suck, not only in Washington, but specifically in Seattle. And we know that. We just watched a bunch of videos. My neck, my back, my paycheck is whack. Like, what? Your paycheck is according to the value proposition that you bring to this equation. Pretty soon, you're not going to have baristas because a computer can do this. A robot can do this better. And they won't F up the spelling on your name, right? And they won't give you a little heart thing there. And you're like, yeah, well, okay, all right. Because it's from a dude or dudette, or we're not really sure. It's a real thing here in Seattle. You can't really tell the sex of whom's serving you coffee in a Starbucks. Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development confirmed the news on Tuesday. King 5 reported that jobs in Seattle connected to direct and indirect sourcing operations teams within the supply chain will be impacted. So that minimum wage you guys are looking for, zero on a bunch of those jobs. Wall Street Journal reported the company plans to offer positions to dozens of existing Seattle-based employees to relocate and open additional roles in the Nashville market in the future. One of the great things about relocating to a state like Nashville, it's just got way more affordable housing. One of the benefits these folks will be able to take advantage of, it's like In-N-Out Burgers from California, basically moving to Nashville. Did they move to Nashville? They moved to Tennessee. And one of the reasons that, I don't think it was Nashville. Got to look that one up, right? Or you could look up a podcast I did on that. I think I did a handful of on In-N-Out Burger. But their CEO, In-N-Out CEO, basically said, I want our management team and I want folks in all kinds of roles underneath that to be able to have a piece of the American dream. I want them to be able to buy a home. I want them to be able to send their kids to public schools and not have to worry about their brains being filled up with a bunch of gibberish, a bunch of race-baiting gibberish. So we're gonna go to Tennessee. It's like, all right, party on. Move is part of Starbucks' bid to grow across North America and establish a more strategic presence. Love it, corporate speak, in the southeast region of the U.S. According to Mike Grams, he's Starbucks' chief operating officer. City offers a deep, talented, and growing workforce, making it a desirable location for us. As Seattle's getting hollowed out by Starbucks, Amazon, Microsoft, any big tech company, moving here to Bellevue, AI moving here to Bellevue, OpenAI opening up office in Bellevue, xAI, Elon Musk's AI in Bellevue. Amazon seemed to agree with that assessment in 2018 when it first planted a flag in Nashville. Boys, we're home. Announced plans for a new center of excellence for its operations business. Oh, I love it. The nonsense. Center of excellence for its operations business. What if you had a center of mediocrity for operations business? We're just an average business. We just got an average operations. What we're doing. Seattle-based tech giant said at the time it planned to employ 5,000 people in Music City. Pandemic slowed some of that initial growth, but Amazon has shared updates along the way about its offices and its affordable housing commitments in Nashville. That is heavily in my decision to move to Oklahoma City because the disparity between housing prices. I read yesterday that Bellevue has a median housing price right now like $1.8 million. Like what? It's probably skewed by a bunch of data, but even say it's 1.4, right? And that's half the homes are less than 1.4, half are more than 1.4, half less than 1.8, half are more than 1.8. Then you go down to Oklahoma City and your median housing price is somewhere between $2.25 and $2.60. Kind of one of those, depending on which metrics you use. I mean, it's just so wildly different. And we're talking new construction in Oklahoma City. And we're talking old, falling down, tear down homes in Bellevue at $1.2 million, $1.3 million. You're getting a tear down. You're not getting anything nice, not getting anything great. Starbucks is in the midst of an operational overhaul under CEO Brian Niccol, who joined the company in September 2024. Niccol led a similar revamp previously at the top executive at Chipotle, and at Starbucks is pairing old school service standards with new technology, including an AI-infused coffee ordering component. Roll up, computer takes your order, doesn't screw it up. If it does, you can see it on the screen and go, hey, AI, rework that last one. And then you're going to have a robot arm hand you the coffee, right? Out the window. None of this blue-haired septum-piercing ridiculousness, you're going to have a robot. I mean, those days, it's coming, right? It is coming. I don't care what you say. And then that whole, my neck, my back, my paycheck is whack. Yeah, your paycheck will be really whack. It'll be non-existent. That is the most whack your paycheck can get, right? It's like any minimum wage can go to zero because you're fired. And that's what's going to happen. February 2025, Starbucks cut 1,100 corporate positions, including 612 in Washington, one of the largest layoffs ever at the coffee giant. Now, if you thought this was all over Seattle protesting Starbucks, it's not. We've got a state we've got a state millionaires tax coming. We got an income tax on the regular folks. We've got a state payroll tax being thrown around. Washington state will become one of the most in-hospital states for business in the next handful of years. It's already happening. Writing is on the wall. That is what happens when you've got leadership that is stuck believing that blue tax and spend policy is the way to go. Greatest thing ever. This is going to be the best. We're just going to tax the absolute F out of you. You're not going to do anything. You're just going to stick around and go, this is great. And it's not. It's driving business out. It's driving the economy into the ground. This is a slow drive the economy into the ground. Raise those taxes, bunch of rich people leave, bunch of rich people with their businesses leave. Who's left? Middle, lower class. What do they have to do to make sure that all their ridiculous social welfare, Somali pirate fraud programs are covered? You got to tax the middle and lower class. You got to tax the bejesus out of them because you don't have any more revenue coming in. It's pretty basic stuff. It is not that hard to figure out because what business is going to go, you know what? We should move to Washington State. You know what? I've been dying to start a business in downtown Seattle. I hear it's nice there. Nobody's doing that. So, plan to grow out of state away from its longtime corporate home in Seattle is likely to produce some jitters. Effing jitters, not just among coffee drinkers, but those concerned that tax initiatives in Seattle and Washington State are scaring away big business and innovators. You mean like the millionaire tax? You mean like Jeff Bezos leaving? Like that? I mean, if GeekWire is putting this together, and that's who we're reading from, if GeekWire is able to put that together, you know what I mean? And I'm not knocking GeekWire, but it's not exactly... Yeah, they do a fair job on technology stories. I give them credit, and that's why I read from them. And it's pretty straightforward stuff. Hey, Starbucks is going to Tennessee. How many other companies have we seen? How many California companies have recently moved to Texas? But we've been on just a roll there. I think Yamaha was the last one. Public Storage right before that. I mean, it is almost on the daily. This is Wednesday. So literally Monday was Public Storage moving from California to Texas. Tuesday was Yamaha moving from California to Texas. Today is Starbucks moving from Seattle, one of their corporate divisions from Seattle to Tennessee. And it's all because they are moving from high tax, low incentive to business cities and states to ones that are, concerned with fiscal responsibility. It's wild stuff. Reading here from Cairo now. Companies across the nation are recognizing that Tennessee's strong values and fiscally conservative approach are good for business. That's the bottom line here, right? And Music City, I mean, you got some epic stuff coming out of there. We're proud to welcome another Fortune 500 company like Starbucks to our state. How about Dallas, Texas, basically has its own New York Stock Exchange now. They're going to try and be the next New York Stock Exchange. I mean, you've got a revolution happening, and you've got low tax states just scooping up all this business and scooping up people in general. because nobody wants to live under this kind of ridiculousness. Because when Starbucks goes on strike, my paycheck is whack. That means that your Starbucks coffee is going to cost even more, because that's what Starbucks does. All right, if we got to pay our Starbucks people more, then we're going to have to charge you, the consumer, more, because that's how this game is played. And now, since we're not making as much money, we're going to close a bunch of stores. Oh, and by the way, we're moving part of our corporate headquarters across the nation because of Tennessee's strong values and fiscally conservative approach. Huh. Weird. Isn't that just crazy? Isn't that the weirdest thing you've ever seen? And we're proud to welcome Fortune 500 as Starbucks continues to reshape their brand and expand their operations out of Washington, out of Seattle, where they're from. We're grateful they have chosen to build a future in the volunteer state and will create quality jobs for Tennesseans. Fair enough. I mean, this is a pay-to-play economy. This is capitalism. This is not communism. So, the collective warmth of the whatever with Mom Donnie, yeah, that's not exactly how businesses operate. Going to Tennessee, going to the volunteer state. Details remain sparse on Starbucks' eastward move, with the company sharing more information will be available in the coming months. Looking ahead, Starbucks has great ambitions to grow even further across North America. With these growth plans, we see Nashville, Tennessee as an ideal location to open an office, establish a more strategic presence, and city offers a deep, talented, and growing workforce, making it a desirable location for us. I mean, enough said, right? Pretty easy call. And for all of these businesses, it's an easy call. It's not like, should we stick around? It's like, good Lord, get us out of here. When can we go? When can we go? Let's see. You got employees who might be able to afford a home. You've got conservative values. Businesses thrive under that. You know where they don't thrive? Progressive crap holes like Seattle. Progressive crap holes like Seattle. They do not thrive there. It's unfortunate. And I know there's a whole bunch of good businesses that are trying to stick it out, trying to make it go. But, all the cards are stacked against the deck in that one. I mean, when you've literally think about being the CEO of Starbucks, and you've got the mayor of the city where your headquarters are located in saying, we support Starbucks coffee pourers and their protest against working for their employer because they think they're not paid enough. You've just got a bunch of wigged out, delusional people with blue hair that aren't qualified to do anything else. And the only way that they're going to be able to keep affording to, share that bedroom with the other stranger in whatever community housing situation in Seattle is if they basically strong arm Starbucks into paying them more. And they're not worth it. And their minimum wage is about to go to zero. And that's what's happening with some of the corporate here. You going to move to Tennessee? Good Lord, no. Aren't they Republican? Yeah, they are. And that's why corporate's going there, because it's better. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thanks again for being here. We'll be covering another one of these, maybe even like tomorrow. Who knows? Make sure you're subscribed. Thanks again. See you in the next one. Bye for now.